Good Monday morning. It is the 22nd of December. We've got some news to cover, quite a bit. I'm going to try and get through it all as a lickety split quick as I can. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. Let's just get into it, shall we? First thing I wanted to draw attention to is not that, but rather this. Yes, we can mention that subscribing is a huge way to help the channel. Yes, please, pretty please, and thank you. Would love to hit 100,000 next year. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. I'm going to be focusing more on analysis in the coming year. Please share with everyone in the Tesla community. Best in Tesla has been hacked. His main channel has been commandeered by scammers. New channel, which you can see right here, needs your subscription love. He's still trying to get it back, but YouTube, as you know, is the devil. Very unfortunate. There was a video on here, I think it's before you subscribe, that shows you the story. It's very tragic. Please help Lars out. Hey, what's going on with the stock today? Who knows, man? 494.07. That's pretty good. I don't know what to tell you. I feel like we've been over this before. It's good news. I should ask how the sound is going. Do I sound okay? Can you hears me? Hey, Europe's 2035 auto CO2 plan now looks like a nice defeat. You see the automotive manufacturers in Europe, we're getting all in a tizzy saying we can't help it. We have got to get more time. We need more time. 2035 is not going to work. This is actually a very good thing. Real quick mention to say thank you so much for the Christmas gift, Rob. I appreciate you always being here in the chat. And of course, the gift is much appreciated. This is, they thought, ooh, this means they'll have more time. Not really, because the targets are still very aggressive. Your revised proposal for CO2 for 2035 ended the planned monopoly on electric vehicles and was initially portrayed as a sop to the traditional auto industry. But as the dust settles, it appears to be a defeat. The measure will have to be approved by politicians, and if it remains unchanged, it is a clear victory for the EV purists. What this means is you're going to get a few Porsches, Lamborghinis, and Ferraris that can still be sold as dyno burners, but they can still make electric vehicles will still be dominant, 90%. So if you want some hybrids, some extended range EVs, some hydrogen-powered cars, don't get a hydrogen, is my advice, because those are not legit. What is going on in Europe? Well, Sweden, 65%. 65%. That's unbelievable. Fantastic. Then we've got a much bigger country, France, much bigger, 32.9% EVs, battery electric, pure electric. Not the hybrids, not the mild hybrids, still a huge chunk. I mean, they do burn less gas, but they still burn gas. So these are quite encouraging numbers. These countries are taking it seriously. That's a good thing. That's what we want to see. Oh my gosh, what's going on around the world? Xiaomi. Now, this one isn't the most current. This is from the 9th, but this is, we'll get to why it's relevant. Plans to launch the U9, U7 GT, and SU7L next. Xiaomi is legit. Xiaomi's model is unique. They don't actually build the cars. Now, technically, they kind of do. They had a partnership with a manufacturer, and then that manufacturer sold them the factory. I mean, it's their factory now. But the idea is, why learn how to build cars from scratch? That's very difficult. We saw Tesla struggle with that when you could just have someone else make them. Huawei doesn't make their own cars. They design them. They create the design. They give it to the manufacturer. The manufacturer looks at it and goes, ooh, caught a couple of rookie mistakes here. Fix this, fix this. Here's your car. Xiaomi does the same thing, except now they technically own the factory. That's allowed them to go from no volume at all to substantial volume very quickly, which is, a tremendous win for them, obviously. Get a little more centered here. By the way, should be the last day of the old office chair. Starting tomorrow, I've got the new Model Y office chair. Tim makes them and sells them. He's got some really awesome ones. If you want to know more about Tim, let me know in the chat and I'll show you some stuff. but I can put a link to them in the description later. So that means all new Xiaomi cars are coming. Not as many pictures on here as I had hoped, but that's fine. What else is going on in China? Electric Ford Bronco has entered the market at 32 grand, 33. That's it. That's what it looks like. You're like, wow, Ford was serious this whole time. Nah, nah. And the reason is the only parts in common with the US Bronco is the exterior, is some of the exterior, not even all of it. It is a JMC joint venture. Who's that? Well, let's look at the actual Wikipedia entry here. It's an extended range EV, but also sold as a battery electric. It's 8 inches longer than the US version, even though it has the same wheelbase. And it's made. It is designed and built in China. 105 kilowatt hour LFP blade battery. It's going to be a great car, and at that price, 32 grand. If they start exporting these are going to sell. These are going to sell well around the world. 32 grand. So when you get it into a market like Brazil, it might be 45. That might sell. That's a lot of opportunity. My gosh. But is it really a Ford? Nah, they're just licensing the name. And, taking the design cues, I guess. DHL has added semis. Now, I had a chance to tour Giga Nevada. I've got a Giga Nevada tour patch in my pocket. It's fantastic. I did not get to see the semi factory. Sometimes people have been dragged over there to see it. My tour did not include this. I did get to see a number of things, some of which I'm not allowed to share. The rule was if you can find any reference to the thing you want to share online, you can share it. The most exciting stuff, of course, I've looked for and found no mention of, and even something very specific involving how the motors are manufactured. I kept looking it up and looking it up different ways, and every way I looked it up, Google and Gemini and Grok said, no, that's definitely not how Tesla does it. Okay. Find me in person. Maybe I'll tell you. DHL adds the semi. So a question I asked is, when are we going to see the new headlights? And the answer I got was when volume production begins, when the actual new factory is commissioned. They've still been making these over at 550 Milan, next door to the semi factory, for low volume customers to test out. If DHL likes it, they're going to go in big. I did ask, hey man, what's the price going to be? You can tell me. And if you want, you can tell me as part of the NDA, and then I won't be able to disclose it. And Cody did not know the answer. He said, the only answer I have is the original pricing, 150 to 180. I said, well, it's definitely not going to be that. He goes, isn't it? I don't know. And the answer is no, it's not going to be 150,000. That is too low. This has, many cars worth of batteries. If we're talking about Cybertrucks, this is like 5-6 Cybertrucks worth of batteries. But we did find out on the day I was there was an announcement that there will be a shorter range version of it manufactured as well, which would be really great for hauling around ports, for in town, or if you always, I don't know if my microphone, I'm turning my speakers down just in case. If there is any kind of known application that you have, boom, you're done. I did want to say a quick thank you to Chris. Thank you for all that you do as well. Thank you for the Christmas gift and the well wishes and all that. We will get to the comments momentarily because we've got a bit more to cover. A couple things left. I did want to mention that coming up in just a few months, Chattanooga Charge 2026. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I did have someone say, ooh, I found Tampa event because of your sponsored segment. This is not sponsored. I have never been paid to mention any of the events I've gone to because I want you there. And what I tell all the speakers at all the events is promote it, promote the heck out of it, because you want your fans in your audience Why wouldn't you? You want the event to be as big and fun and successful as possible. You're a key to do that. You can show up and just try and steal other people's fans, but that's not how it works. If you're going to an event, for crying out loud, promote it. Please promote it. These are the participating clubs. It's kind of all of them. Just about Washington, that's one of the clubs I am in. I don't see LMNO. I don't see Oregon on here, but Phil with the Oregon Owners Club has been busy doing volunteer work outside the country. So I don't know how much I should say about that. I don't know what his policy is on that. The last super fun story, and I just love this one. Charlie Puth calls out Elon Musk. I don't know how to say his name. Puth. Puth in Boots calls out Elon's deafening 3 a.m. SpaceX launch. It frightened his pregnant wife. So this is not on the Space Coast. This is in California, where rocket launches are much less frequent, but they still happen. There's an Air Force base there. In the Space Coast, I will not permit you to complain about space noise. You chose to live there. Southern California, I get it. You don't see many launches. He's awfully far away. I think he's all the way up in, where is he? Not Santa Clarita, but he's pretty far north. Where is he? I don't remember. Here we go. Maybe it says here, but that it's just really loud and it woke us up. I checked to see how loud it would be that far away. And the answer is at night, you're going to hear it. You are going to hear it. Next launch was December 14th. Maybe that one wasn't at night. Yeah, I get it. I'm not famous enough for people to write stories about my complaints. So maybe I should get more famous. It'd be fun. Should we address the comments? Yes, we should. 12 minutes in, we've got some time to do precisely that. Let's see what we've got here. It's epic news. I'm going to trust you. Give you an early thumbs up. I trust the news was epic. Hey, stock approaching $500 a share. That's pretty epic. I will have quite a few videos coming as a result of the tour. Ones that you haven't seen yet because I haven't uploaded them, because I haven't made a lot of them. Things revolving around Giga Nevada, things about Fremont. Not as much to learn there, but some. And then, of course, at least 2 videos about Redwood Materials. There's a whole lot going on there. Very exciting stuff. Thank you guys for making these trips possible. I will mention that in the new year, I'm going to be, as I said, focusing more on analysis. There are videos that are good for the channel, and there are videos that are just good. And a lot of the deep analysis videos I do perform terribly. They get wonderful comments. People find them very valuable, but not very many people. They don't have the mass appeal. So I'll be moving those over. And if you're a longtime viewer, don't worry. I will find a way to make sure you can see them if you need to. I will put a paywall on it, but it is a soft paywall. It will be optional. If you are someone who needs that information, you will have access to it. So basically, it will be behind Patreon, YouTube, and X, all on the premium features. But I will also have a mailing list that I'll maintain for people who are not on that, because there are people who support me outside of those methods. They should have access too. And there are people who simply do not have a nickel to spare. And I get it. They will also have access because because I don't know, just because. How about that? I'd say it's because it's Christmas, but that's not why. Let's see. Sound is good. I apologize. Sounds good. Number 8, thumbs up. Appreciate it. Wishing you and your family the best. Thank you. I appreciate that. Europe's legacy auto is too big of an economic political force to limit. I mean, yes, but they took this regulation seriously. They moved in that direction, and the technology is sufficiently mature that they were able to do so successfully. So I would chalk this up to a win all the way around. I will say that there were some comments I read on one of these articles, on the China one, on the Bronco one, where they said, oh, it's only 32,000 because of all those sweet, juicy China subsidies on manufacturing. China doesn't do that as much as they used to. it would be cost prohibitive to do so. They make so many cars now. They make like 30 million cars a year. So that is not quite it. Uh, and worth noting, all countries incentivize automobile production. So, I mean, Tesla gets a battery credit. Ford, GM, Stellantis, they've all been eligible for and in many cases received credits, subsidies, tax breaks on properties, all kinds of things like that. So if we're going to count China's, we have to count ours as well. And the China subsidies are not as big as many make them out to be. Disappointing. The Bronco looked good at first glance. I think it looks cool. I think it looks great. If I could buy, now I wouldn't buy a Bronco because I don't like to drive. But for someone who's buying a car, a Bronco for even 40, 45,000, oh, that would be a hit. And in other countries, I think it will be. I may learn how to spell someday. David, I believe in you, my friend. Uh, Especially on mobile. I assume everyone's on mobile. When I see a typo, I just go, mobile. I've done worse. Hmm. Certainly, your best work. The tour was the tour my best work. I do well when I get to see things, even if it's something others have seen. A lot of people saw that car in Santana Row, didn't necessarily notice the things I noticed. Hundreds, maybe even 1,000 people got to do the tour at the shareholder meeting to see bits and pieces of the cybercab. And I alone came out with 3 unique bits of information that everyone else could see, but no one else could understand because they're not analysts. The analysts there, who maybe saw and noticed what I saw and noticed, didn't publish it. So I'm doing my best to keep y'all informed. I like it. See you every Monday. Yeah, I think I may do these every Monday. I think it's a good way to start the week. Um, the reason I started it now instead of next week or next month is because I was very tired from my drive and I didn't make a video yesterday. And I would have needed to in order to maintain the schedule. Thanks for all the videos this year. Oh boy, it jumped. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you. I appreciate that, Doug. Are you driving to Chattanooga? No, no, no. I've already booked my ticket. Booking them that far out allows me to pay very little in terms of frequent flyer miles, which is good because I'm almost out of frequent flyer miles and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I've got a few things on the calendar. Um, one thing that I really wish to do next year that I believed was going to be in California may not be in California. It may be in a different location. That would potentially introduce a problem, but we'll see. So we'll see how it goes. Although the Semi will be a slow burner, the market is massive and its cost efficiency is a game changer for logistics. Yes. What is the price? Once we know the price, we can crunch all the numbers. We can figure out if it works in our region with our cost of juice, our overnight. Can we use it at night? Can we get an overnight rate? But without the price, we good Monday morning. Good to see you, Fail Train. Thoughts on SpaceX IPO via a SPAR? Is a SPAR like a SPAC? I don't think they would need to do that. They could just go public. You can just go public if you have revenue, if you have profit. But without that, it's very hard to do. So no, they would just go public. Just go public. So what I think they would do is float a very small percentage of the outstanding shares instead of giving up, 50%, 80% of the company. They'd probably only put it up on the market 2 to 5%, maybe 10. I don't think they need to do more than that. That would provide the employees with the liquidity they need. Right now, if you're an employee and you're sitting on shares and you need to buy a house or pay for tuition for your kids or whatever it may be, it's really hard to move those shares. There's only a couple thousand people in the world who can even buy them. But if it's publicly traded, even if narrowly so, the market can determine the price. You can sell them all you want. That's what I'm thinking will happen. And I do have a very small percentage of my retirement that is not in Tesla. I would consider putting all of that into this. SpaceX does an IPO. Yeah, I would sell out of my Palantir, my NVIDIA, and my Costco to buy this. Oh, I also have ARK K, but I'm just about done with that. I would love to have a conversation with the folks at ARK. Um, they don't feel the same way. I'm guessing the stock bounces hard off 500, but I don't have the guts to play any options. I think that is a very reasonable guess. Let's jump back over and see what we're doing there. Yeah, I think we're going to see that. I'm just going to hit refresh just in case it hasn't been. It has been. I mean, yeah, I suspect there are sell orders in at 500 that would make that, yeah, look different. Uh-huh. Exciting news for me. I'm trading in my 2020 Model 3 for a 2026 Model Y to take delivery in the next week or two. It's such a good car. I've driven the cheapest version of it, and now I've driven the performance version of it, of the new Model Y, and they're both fantastic. Let's see. Some thoughts on SpaceX possibly establishing a two-tiered stock where the public shares have little voting power. I don't know if they'd need to. Just only float a tiny bit because it would still raise a lot of money. And they don't need to raise, $1 trillion. They now have 8 million subscribers on Starlink. $100 a month. I mean, that's almost $1 billion a month coming in. And I know there's a lot of markets where it's cheaper than $100, 25 even in Nigeria. But they also have clients who are paying more than 100, who are on higher plans, who are ships at sea and aircraft. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with the extra space in the Model Y. I think so too. Glad to see you made it through the flooding. Both 101 and I-5 had water over the pavement. It's not done. It's supposed to rain again this week. We're in a well-controlled area, but levees can breach, man. Where we used to live in Auburn, our old house, it flooded, apparently. That's a report I heard from an old neighbor who still lives in that area. Our house flooded because the Green River levee failed in Kent, Washington, one city over from where we lived. Bill Ackman was on about them doing a special acquisition. I don't know. Entirely possible. You silly bastard. How are you? I'm good. T. Dodar. I'm good. Hello. What are your thoughts on Aman's plan to give Tesla shareholders right to buy SpaceX shares? I don't know who you mean by Aman. Ammon? I don't know who that is. It won't happen. It can't happen. I don't think legally. They have a fiduciary responsibility to raise the maximum cash when they do. So why would the people who invested in SpaceX say, yeah, you know what? Tesla investors, who are not our investors, they're different investors, are cool dudes. Let's give them a discount. I don't think they would want to do that because all of that money would come out of their valuations. So I don't think that could happen. I think they want that extra money to also use it. That's my guess. I'd love to see it. I don't think it will. Fingers crossed. We open up Arizona for robotaxis this year. Ooh, in the next 9 days, 10 days. 26, I'd say. Very good odds. This year, much lower odds. Plus announced 7 new metros to come. I don't know if we need to hear an announcement. We can see where the job postings are. I'm done with the rain. I need to buy new gutters. I just need to clean mine. Guys, I think that's all. I think that's it. I think we made it through it. That is the news. All the news that's certainly fit to print. I will be publishing on my usual schedule all week. So look forward to that. And if you're interested to see what comes next, you can go to Patreon. It's in the link. Sign up as a free member. You'll see the announcement of what's coming, and you can decide what you want to do from there. And if you wish to ask to be on the free list because you're super cool. Guys, what did I miss? What did I misunderstand? If you're catching this on the replay, let me know. Everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots when Santa comes to visit.